Let me at him!
Well, there it is. Hello and welcome to the Patron Q&A for May 2015. This one's going to be a super short and sweet one. That's handy for me because I tend to go on too long anyway. So, our one question so far this month is from Sneaky Snitch, who is an honorary patron who gave a very generous donation during the Patron games at the end of it. And a big thank you very much, Sneaky Snitch, for your contribution, and thank you to everyone else who has contributed on Patreon and just taken part in those games. It was a lot of fun to play, and I'm glad that we could do all of those custom games and that we could have so much sort of fun with it. And heck, I even had a good game with Werewolf. Kinda. If you haven't seen it, you want to see it. That's in Patreon Games Stream 2, the second part, where the first video is about Werewolf, and it's a long one. It's over an hour, and I got to be the wolf for the first time. And you can see how I got on if you want to check that out for yourselves. Anyway, Sneaky Snitch, I asked him if he wanted to ask me a question for the Q&A, and he said, "What is your daytime job?" And an answer that is more than two sentences, if that is possible. You know what? I will give you more than two sentences, but technically I would barely only be able to give you one, because it sounds super important and official, and it is by no means at all this. But I'm actually technically not supposed to talk about what I do at my work, where I work, etc, etc. The reason why is because it's finance. So I can tell you that I work in finance and that I do a very early morning shift. So I get up and I get there at 4:30 AM and typically work a 6-hour day, but I do alternate weeks, so I can sometimes finish at 9:30. Those would be 5-hour days, so those are really nice and easy. They go very quickly, but the payback for those is that I have to work on Saturday. So that always affects me when I'm doing the streams, because Friday night I can stream quite late, but then when I've got to work the next day, it's a bit tricky. And for those of you that don't know, I also go to the gym before I go to work, because I'm so damn bloody lazy that there's no chance I'm going to the gym after work, and this is extreme. I wouldn't consider getting up. I think getting up at the time I do, like I would normally get up at 3:30 to go to work, to get ready to get to work. That's stupid enough as it is, but I get up at 2:30 because I go into the gym. So I want an hour in the gym. And that's what I do, finance. I can't really tell you much more about it, but what I can tell you, I suppose, is that it involves lots of administration type tasks, such as dealing with envelopes, the content which is within those envelopes, and the processes that are required to basically make those requests and inquiries, etc, etc, from within the contents of those envelopes go forward towards the right places by a certain time. So I think that's about all I can really tell you. I know I could go off the cuff, and I could easily do that, but I'm technically not supposed to. It is in the contract and all that, so I'm not going to take any risks. Since this is public video, I better not do anything like that. So that's basically what I do for my working job. However, for my actual real hobby / job is YouTube. Yeah. You would actually be surprised, I think, some of you. Otherwise, some of you that are more familiar with YouTubers and the content and stuff that they create, and they may have talked about it themselves, YouTube is a full-time job. Even, well, you do more hours on YouTube than you do in a full-time job, if you're doing it properly. Basically, once I get home from work, all I do is pretty much hop on, make sure I'm publishing the next video, make sure I'm rendering, editing for the next videos that need to go up, also recording for the next lot of videos, creating the thumbnails, creating all the publications that go with them, as well as details, any info tags, annotations within the videos, they all need to be recorded. I need to go through that, analyze it, make sure that you're getting all the information that you need to get required for that video. There's a lot of research and time and effort that goes into YouTube. I love it, but it is incredibly time consuming, so I would actually argue that that is my real-time job. I can obviously go into more detail on what I actually do at YouTube another time, because I think I'd rather be a little bit more of an expert before I talk about it, even though I've been doing it for up to 5 years now. I think past that point I've learned a lot, but I still want to, if I was ever to talk about it properly, I want to give out proper information rather than just do it off the cuff. But yeah, I would consider YouTube more of my job than anything else by a long shot, and that includes like the streaming process. So again, that's sort of like a huge part of sort of like just being sort of like an online personality slash media mogul. I don't think mogul's the right word for it, but you know, I'm out there quite a lot on the internet trying to do my best to present and give the content that I think you guys deserve, because I know what I would like to see, and that's basically what I try to do with my YouTube. Is I think, well, if I was looking at YouTube and I was into this content or Warcraft 3, what would I like to see from it? And this is basically what I would like to see from it. The way it's sort of presented, it's dumb. I have an intro, but it's only 5 seconds long. It's little things like that. I don't understand why anyone has like a 20 to 30 second intro. What are you doing? Seriously, unlike every single video, it should be 5 seconds maximum. You know, you don't need much more than that. Then you've got the outros as well that go with it, that helps sort of like, if you're interested in this video, I generally tend to give you another video at the end that you can click on, which is related to that video in some way, shape or form. So if it's like Undead Imbalance, there'll be another video where something alongside Undead Imbalance occurs. It might not be the exact same strategy, but it's the same sort of thing. So I could have one game where, for example, if I think off the top of my head, Undead Puke, where I went triple heroes, AoE heroes, Carrion Swarm, Panda. I think I had Lich now, I'm not even sure, but there was some serious nuking going on, hence the Undead Puke. It was just like vomiting absolute and utter sort of devastation upon the enemies, and that was a crazy fun game. And then there'll be another game where I might link towards, if I was to publish that video, which I obviously have done by now, but at the end I would publish 4 versus 4 RT. It was Shadowhunter first, lol, noob. That one, which didn't actually involve me playing Undead, but Undead came into it towards the very end. I won't want to give too many spoilers because that is a really good game that you should definitely check out. It's got quite a few twists in it, and definitely Undead became one of the twists at the end. So there's me going on about YouTube again. I do talk too much when I just ramble on, but honestly there really isn't much to talk about when it comes to my actual job. So I get asked that question a lot when I'm streaming and stuff, or even on YouTube. It's just like a question, what do you do for a living? What do you do for a living? For me, like actual real work, or I don't know what you classify YouTube as. I mean, technically it's real work because I'm definitely putting in a fuck ton more effort than I do at my actual job, but this is like a hobby. This is what I enjoy, so I can put in ridiculous amount of hours and still enjoy it. But obviously there's only so many hours I want to be at a place where I don't want to be, if you know what I mean, before I want to get out. So there's really not that much to chat about because I can't physically chat about it, as well as there just genuinely isn't that much to chat about. It's a means to an end sort of thing. I'm not like what I do, YouTube is my passion. I'm not one of these people that are career-minded, that have like, I would consider YouTube like my career, or the path I'm trying to create for myself, go down, work on very hard to try to make it a career, a job, a life, I don't know, something like that. Whereas some people will be like, oh, I want to work in banking, so I'm going to start off as a clerk and then work my way up towards, you know, managing support role, that sort of thing, and then into managing the actual accounts correctly, maybe be an accountant, all that kind of stuff. I don't know, I'm yapping on now right now, but YouTube is my passion and my job is just a job, basically. It's a job. I go there, I do my bit, I work hard as I can consider that, I suppose, and I get what I need to get done. If I get asked to do something, I do what needs to be done, and that's pretty much it. When I walk out that door, the only thing I'm thinking about is YouTube and home life. I stop thinking about work the split second I walk out the door. It is just a job. So there you go. Maybe that answers the question once and for all, but I'm pretty sure that even if I stream tonight or whenever it might be, I'm probably going to get asked that question again. It's just the way it is. But anyway, I hope this somewhat answered you, Sneaky Snitch. I know it's not exactly the answer you were after, but thank you very much anyway. And big thank you to everyone who has been supporting so far at patreon.com/WTiiWarcraft. Thank you so much. Truly appreciate it. And I hope to see you again for maybe more. Perhaps we can get back to Patron games and stuff like that in the future. I've got to start working on that micro guide. Oh, it's so intimidating, it really is. But I will get it done eventually. There's technically no announcement date for it, so I'm safe for that, but it's one that I'm an OCD enough person that I will go psychotic to the point where I just have to have everything perfect. And when it comes to sort of like doing a guide, I go overboard. It's very difficult for me to just sort of like ramble on, ironically. When I'm doing a guide, again, I consider it from the point of view as, what would you like to watch? Well, you want a guide, but you don't want to be dicking around with someone chatting on about the same subject for like 3 minutes when he could talk about that subject in 20 seconds and get the same point of view across, clearly. So I would try to I would get as much information in there as I can do, but also keep it as short and condensed as possible. And that sort of thing is really, really difficult to do. It's incredibly easy to yap on, so I'll be fantastic for podcasts and stuff like that. I could go on for fucking hours. But if you want to try to get, you know, like an hour's worth of content into 20 minutes or something like that, obviously the guide is going to end up being longer than 20 minutes, I imagine. I can't see how I could possibly get it down to 20 minutes, but once you start getting into stupid figures, people don't really want to watch it because they're like, oh, this takes 25 minutes to watch. I don't want to learn that. Whereas 5 to 10 minutes, yeah, okay, I'll click on that. So you got that to consider. So I want to try to consider it and be as I don't know. Just thinking about it knackers me. Honestly, it scares the shit out of me, that micro guide. So I'll be grateful when I nail it and get it done. So thank you very much for watching, everyone. Thank you again for your continued support, and I'll see you later. Bye.